Uh, you know when someone cuts you off in traffic and you're instantly like, this guy's an idiot. But if you cut someone off, you're like, oh, I didn't even see him there. We all do it. Assume we know why someone's acted the way they did. They're rude, he's lazy, she doesn't care. But the truth is, most of the time, we just fill in the blanks with our own stories. Hello, 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 and welcome back to Anywho, the podcast. In this episode, we're going to unpack why we're so quick to judge, how it ties to the fundamental attribution error, and what it means to practice empathy without losing sight of ourselves. With me, as always, is Madam Aisha.
Hello, guys. See here again.
So, well, to get right into it, basically, at its core, the fundamental attribution error is the tendency or our tendency to believe that other people's actions are caused by their internal personality or their character, while understanding the power of the situation or external factors for our own self. So for other people, if something happens, it's because of their character or because of their personality. If they spilled glass on the if they spilled water on the floor, it's because of they're bad, they are terrible, they don't have anything, they're bad. But if it's for yourself, you have the understanding that okay, it was an accident and you didn't actually see it there, and then you blah 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 blah. So that's at its core, that's the fundamental attribution error. It's a
Mhm.
sort of mental shortcut where your brain tries to uh, create shortcuts and just help you make sense of something without thinking too much about it. And that's usually how it comes about in the form of this fundamental attribution error.
Yes.
I'm just going to ask a simple question. Why? Why do you think we do this? And why do you think we do it so easily? I have one thought, and it's something that crossed my mind today because of something else completely different.
Okay.
I was like, well, I guess, humans are like that. They're always trying to find meaning or give meaning to things that, in this otherwise complicated world of ours. And
Mhm.
yeah, they just choose whatever would make the most sense, or rather, whatever would satisfy their curiosity or would satisfy them the most. So if it's like, oh, there's this branch just fell when I just entered here. Oh, it must be a ghost.
People do
So
that for. There will be too much chaos if, like, people did not find something to believe in. It gives them okay. It keeps their mind at rest somewhat. Something.
yeah, yeah.
This happened. Something is in control of this. Da, 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 da. For most people, it just keeps their mind, stable.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a similar thing when people are quick to judge, they probably just kind of look for something to justify what just happened and something that would make them. I don't know if I can say make them feel better because I don't think it feels any nicer. Um, I think the alternative is much nicer, but that's one possible reason as to why everyone would be just quick to just go on a limb and be like, yeah, that's what just happened. Do you ever see this happening in your own day to day with people?
I guess I have come to not be too bothered by that because, however annoying, it can't exactly change.
Uh,
So I think it's easier to forgive yourself when you do certain things than to forgive others. Say you have this fancy bottle of very like, very expensive perfume, and you break it mistakenly.
yeah,
You're just gonna be upset and then probably grab your clothes and dab 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 and move on. You
yeah,
just complain a bit, but I mean, 1 hour later you're fine. If somebody else should break that perfume, now you're holding a grudge for days and weeks, maybe even months. Maybe you don't stop talking to that person entirely. Self. It's just easier to forgive yourself. So with the traffic thing, you're on the road, you
mm,
didn't see the person, I don't know, that you bumped into by mistake. It was an honest mistake. You can forgive yourself for it
yeah,
because someone bumps into you. Now there's a problem because what the hell? Where did you put your eyes?
yeah,
Why did
yeah, yeah, yeah.
you pay for this? No, 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 you don't care whether that person was rushing to the hospital, whether there was somebody dying in that car, and that's why they were just frantic and not really paying attention to the road. Nothing. You don't know what's happening in that person's life. It's just easier for us to forgive ourselves, I think.
It's much easier to just conclude that someone has done something because they are terrible or a bad person than it is to go through the whole process of trying to consider, oh, maybe they didn't know, maybe they didn't see me, or maybe something, something, something.
Mm-hmm.
It should just be easier to just be like, instead of analyzing a complex situation, just like, oh, this person did this bad thing because they're bad. Have you personally realized you misjudged someone because you didn't know the full story before?
Of that has definitely happened. Now, if I'm trying to think, I know it has happened 100%.
Did you do any actions to, maybe it's not that it was just in your head, you actually acted on it and then it was like, oh, it wasn't so.
No, I don't. Not so much acting on it. More judging in my head. I think.
Okay.
As
Okay.
in,
Well, if it stays in your head, then I guess it causes less of an impact, doesn't it?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm,
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. I like to, try to understand what is happening with everybody. Well,
yeah.
Islamically too, you should do. Try to see that okay, maybe this happened because of this, maybe they're this, and maybe they're that, and that, and that, and that, and that. So like when I'm hearing stories and stuff, and there was some people when they're giving you stories, they expect you to be on their side. I feel like a lot of my friends have probably being upset with me at some points because they're talking about this happened and that happened and this person did that. And I'm like, okay, so maybe that happened because maybe they did this because. Whose side are you on? I'm telling you they did this and that. And you're telling you so you just But I
Yeah.
feel I like to give people the benefits of the doubt because really people be going through
Yeah.
it. Like, you just don't know. You never really know the full story. You're hearing one person's side of the story. You're seeing one side of the story and that's what
Exactly.
you're using.
Exactly.
It could easily be you on the other end, and you would forgive yourself since it's you on the other end. But then people are now talking about you did this and you did that.
I have
Mm.
I, I have a similar I lean in a similar direction where it's always like someone says someone does something without sufficient thing and I'm like, oh well then maybe they didn't do it. Oh but maybe it's this person or maybe maybe you're wrong. Speaking of being wrong, the real kicker is when people are like 100% sure about something that they've assumed to be so and they'll go
Yeah.
on and repeat it.
All these social media stories, for example, you come online, you see some video. It's a
You see
short
them
clip from
right.
video, and then you're just seeing that part, and you have judged the
Exactly.
entire situation. And I'm not referring to complex, very, very horrible, horrible things. No, less horrible things. Yeah. And you're judging
Exactly.
what really
And then
happened.
you fill in the rest of the blanks with your own side of the story, and you're like, oh, so
Yeah.
they did this because of this.
Exactly.
They
Exactly.
did, and they'll repeat it and start spreading for everybody, and be like, yo, this is what happens. And sometimes it's like intentional malice where they know that's not the case, but then they're trying to do stuff. But then there's also the other
Yeah.
part where it's not intentional. They just really do believe that that's the case because of something that they've made up. And yeah, they just genuinely believe their own version. Yeah, that part really frustrates me, should I say. And when it happens in real life, especially when it happens online, it's like a thing. I'm like, I can't be bothered. But if it happens in
Mm-hmm.
real life, and then it's just like, oh, this person did this because of this, and I'm like, how do you know that? Did you did you get
They did.
superpowers or
How they
something? Or how did you come to that conclusion? They're like, no, I know, I just know I'm like,
I
okay,
just know, right? I just know. Of course, that's the only.
yeah,
Mhm.
yes, 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 yes.
Even
But
down to very small things like you friend, and they don't respond until like hours later, and
yeah,
in your head they're ignoring you, but them they're like very, very busy, or
exactly.
maybe they're in the hospital, maybe they lost somebody. So one too many things might be happening. and then you're just like, how dare they not respond to me in 5 hours? Exactly that.
That's really the gist of it. It's like, okay, you're not responding to me. Okay, you're doing this intentionally to spite me for some reason. You don't like me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yada 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 yada. Yeah, it can happen. It can happen. Sometimes it becomes a cycle where you fight with someone and they don't know why you're fighting with them, and then bam, they're also now fighting with you, and then it spirals into this whole thing, and then everybody's fighting everybody, and no one knows how it started. You bring them down together
That,
and be like, okay, why they fight? I'm like, I don't know. He's just fighting me and I'm fighting him back. Wow, wow, wow.
right.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it happens, People have serious grudges against someone based on something that they've assumed someone's intended. Imagine you're you're going about your day, and then one day an auntie was there and you obviously she was passing and you said good evening and then she passed and she didn't respond. That is like the most typical example of, people assuming okay, they didn't respond
Yeah.
because they
Said,
they hate, they hate me or yada yada yada, that type of thing. And
okay, I'll be honest, in this kind of situation, like this specific type of situation, if I greet you as an elder, my auntie or my lecturer, my uncle, whatever, let's say aside my parents, because we have passed that stage. I greet you and you don't respond to me. Even if in my head I might say, okay, maybe if it's an older person, maybe old age, they have a hearing problem, or maybe their mind was somewhere. Next time I won't greet you. If it means me pretending to not have seen you, I would do that so that it will not cause conflict. Not come, oh, I didn't greet you. I'll be like, oh, but I didn't even see you. I didn't know you were there and stuff. But I'm not greeting you again. That's just it.
wow, that seems to be a universal decision after that happening, because it's exactly the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. It's
Because
like, oh, I
no,
greet
for
them, they
real,
didn't greet me back. I'm
these
never greeting
people
them again.
sometimes they be doing it intentionally, even though you want to find all the excuses for them. Some of them do it very intentionally. Yes.
Yeah, well, that is true. They could be doing it intentionally. So
Mm-hmm.
if I greet someone and they don't respond to me, I want you to try and guess what I would do. With based on how much you know about me, what do you think I would
I
do?
don't want to believe you're going to now follow them and greet them again. We tap them or something.
You don't want to believe that,
You
but
can
is that what you're believing, or
it.
what does that mean? Is that a final answer or no?
No, 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 no. That's a thought, and I don't know yet. You're not that weird. I don't want to believe you're that
Okay, that's
weird because
interesting to know.
follow
I'm not
them,
that
tap
weird.
them. But I think, I mean, you probably just greet them again the next time you see them. I don't
Mm,
know.
okay, well, so apparently I am that
You
weird.
even hold grudges. Let's start from there. You actually hold. I don't think you do.
No, bro, who has time for grudges? I am that
Yeah.
weird. If they were within distance of me, I would just keep on greeting them until they answer.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That would just be awkward because okay, so if they were intentionally ignoring you, how many
So if,
greetings are you going to put in
so
till
so
they
if they
fade
were
out of
intentionally enduring
the
me, and then this would be a form of retaliation, and then intentionally acknowledge and intentionally still greeting them again until they get annoyed and they're like, oh, good, hello back. Although I don't think that has happened before where I greeted them once and then I greeted them the third time and they didn't respond.
hmm.
So yeah, if
Hmm.
I greet you once and you don't respond, I'll greet you again and be like, oh, good evening, you didn't hear me. And then if they didn't respond, I'm like, oh, good
Yeah.
evening. And then they'll be like, oh, good, how are you? I'm like, oh, fine, thank you.
My goodness, it's not that deep, man. I beg, they should be going
Yeah.
all these greetings.
Obviously, as I mentioned, if they are within like touching distance, if they're not, then that's just it. Yeah, we chicken and they didn't hear me. Next time, I would still greet them.
Mm-hmm. Right.
What would it
Right.
take for me to hold a grudge against you?
Mm-hmm.
If I was eating my food, my plantain jejely, and you came and threw it on the floor and ran away.
Yeah, that's you're not gonna hold a grudge because of that.
I'm not.
I,
Wow, that was quick. Okay.
I don't see you holding a grudge because of that. That's too trivial. No, I don't. That
Mm,
you, because it's your person, you just oh damn, and then you walk back like to where I don't know. You just walk away. You just
I
I don't.
know.
You go. Yeah, that's I don't. Is that really gonna piss you off? That's gonna get you to hold a grudge.
I'm probably just gonna look at the food and look at the person. I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Exactly, and then you're just gonna I don't know move on. I don't.
Move
I don't
on.
think that will scar you. It will scar me because I mean food, and then of all foods is
How
plantain.
you?
There's no excuse for
I,
that one.
I think I would be mad at them to some extent, but then I'm like, I don't have the energy to do anything about that. I'll just be mad and then forget I'm mad like in after 30 minutes.
See, but it's good. It's good to be you. But then it's not. I mean, that means
Is
people
it
can
is
just
it is
trample
it though? Is it really though?
to some extent because
Oh,
peace
okay.
of mind.
Well, the point is you
Yes, we
should
digress.
try and reflect, or not reflect, but like, just
Yeah, there could be a lot more context to the situation.
yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
So you would not be nice. You don't have to always be perfect, but just try.
Nobody's perfect anyway. You know,
Yeah, nobody is perfect.
nobody's really truly perfect. And
Yeah,
give people the doubt, even though them sometimes they all these things could be intentional. That person might have hit you because they were drunk and still decided to drive. That might be, I mean, it's on them, but
mm,
still, it's still okay to give people the benefit of the doubt.
yeah, it is. It is. It is. They might actually be plotting your demise, but
Well, I mean, I have no hand there.
Uh, for me, it equals reference to our previous episode. It equals peace of mind, number one all the way. So having that might be the same for you. No promises though. You might just spend the rest of the day at maybe second guessing or something, but for me, it brings me peace of mind.
Yeah,
I
different
don't worry too much.
different things work for different people. Some people is
Yeah.
peace of peace with yourself. For some people, it's having money. Like I really truly believe for some people, if you there's some amount of money that you would have when nothing bothers you. It doesn't matter who almost hit you on the road. It doesn't matter whether they brushed your car, they bumped into something. If you know that you have the money to fix this, you're just about to get to your meeting. Nothing concerns you with that person that almost hit you. Driver, please, let's just be going. You get that's really none of your business,
Yeah.
you know.
I saw a similar a meme. This was a bit longer ago where they're doing the POVs of like two different people. They were like a rich guy a rich guy versus like a not so rich guy, maybe a middle class guy. And the concept was, children playing on the street and then maybe they kick the ball and then the ball just like hits the side of the car. Nothing happens, it just hits the car, not this. It's not like anything happens. And for the rich guy, the ball hits the car and then he now comes and like starts touching the ball like, hey, I know how to play ball and then kicks it back at them. But then for the middle class guy, he goes ballistic like, oh my God, you hit my car.
How dare you
Oh,
all
how dare
touch
you hit my car? Ah, why are you playing roughly here?
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
and yeah, it was funny. And yeah, although I don't know, I don't have that much money yet.
Yeah, so of course, for us, that is not the situation.
That is not the
We have to, make peace with it, have peace of mind, like the way it works for you and stuff.
thing.
I would just say different things work for different people, you know. So,
Exactly. Actually, so how would you, obviously there's gonna be a point where it's like it's not about being understanding anymore, and now you're just letting people walk all over you.
oh yeah. So for that, it's when um these things happen a lot over time and nothing is changing. Like if someone is always late to work, we can understand. Okay, the first time, the second time, maybe the third time, you can keep giving excuses. But then you cannot, it can't
What
keep
the
happening.
what was the saying again? Fool me once, fool me twice, or something like that.
The fool, I thought I saw something. Fool me once, shame on you. You. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me three times, shame on you. Because, I mean, you figure that I am a foolish person. Why are you still trying to fool me? Something like that. Anyway, so yes, when it looks like it's becoming a habit, when this person, when, so if it's road rage, they say, for the person that is always in some accident, once you hear that something has happened on the road, and it's this person once, this person twice, this person three times, I mean, they're
Mm,
the problem, you know.
yeah,
So when
like
like it's
my
becoming,
story as well. If I greet someone once, I don't understand, and the next time too, I greet them again, they don't understand, and the third time I greet them again, they don't understand. It's like, okay.
yeah, for you, I don't think you're gonna stop greeting them even after like 10 tries and stuff. I don't.
Well, are you saying I let people walk all over me?
No, I'm not saying you said it. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay, okay.
saying, but you get it. Anyway,
Mm, mm,
it just shouldn't become a habit, because then it's like they don't care, and when there's no consequences, especially, you
yeah,
let it go. Let it go second time, let it go third time, fourth time, and it's just nothing changes. So enough with the excuses. This is very
yeah.
intentional.
Actually,
So
that is true. That is true. And then maybe you do something about it to stop it from happening. Well, I guess the real kicker is just having the awareness that
mm,
it's you don't have to center the whole story about you, and then maybe just maybe you just realizing that there's a possibility that something is wrong. But as Aisha mentioned, obviously if it happens a little bit too frequently, then you can probably have a guess that a more accurate assumption, even though it's still going to be an assumption, but a more accurate assumption that it's probably because of something intentional rather. We've spoken about everything. We've spoken about the fundamental attribution error. We've talked about why we
yeah,
think people might do it, the consequences and how it leads to unnecessary fighting and unnecessary grudges with people that you probably you should use your energy rather than having a grudge on someone. And then lastly, we talked about how some tips from one very unbothered person and one less unbothered person about how to go about stopping and thinking when something happens before reacting. Just
yeah,
being aware that maybe it's not actually just their personality isn't judged based on the action itself, and then maybe there's a whole backstory. So next
mhm.
time you find yourself saying that person is just a pause, what if you're wrong? What if there's more to the story?
Mm. So this brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, share, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye, guys.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. Next episode, we might have a guest. Who knows?
Oh
Teaser.
yeah, guys,
Teaser.
you might not hear from me in a minute, because, well,
That is sad. How do I find a co-host? Oh my God.
anywho, I guess I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.